Howdy everybody, John R. Hand here with the Pulsing Cinema. It is a wet and rainy night here in Austin, Texas. But I just got out of a screening. The NYC is Effed screening from Synapse of double feature of Escape from New York and The Warriors. Feature number one, feature number one, The Warriors. Feature number two, Escape from New York, at the Millennium Youth Complex in downtown Austin, Texas. A really cool place. It's got a 35mm theater. It's got a bowling alley and a little tiny like arcade. It seemed like it was like some kind of throwback to like the 1980s. It was real weird. It felt like a skate roll. It felt like there should have been like also a skate roller rink in the place too. It was a really wild place. And I pull up, there's a bunch of the parking lot is packed. It's a Saturday night. And I get in there, and it's like I look around and I see like bowling alley. I feel a full-featured big bowling alley. I see they're selling pizza, and I see balloons and arcade. And I look over to the right. Oh, and there's a movie theater there. And I was like, and the movie theater is a one-screen movie theater. Very grindhousey, I mean, not dirty, but just very much had that mood of like a mall cinema in the 1980s, but with a huge freaking screen. It's huge, honking 35. I mean, that screen was huge. It was really great. So they played Warriors, and this was the original. Both of these were 35mm prints. They played 35mm original cut of the Warriors. It was, the first few reels of it had beautiful color. I mean, just beautiful, no fading, just like, oh my God, beautiful color. And but there was a lot of dirt in the prints, and between the reels, there were like some chunks out missing. And it was, but it added to the flavor. It really felt like a grindhouse film. It really felt like, in Tarantino's and Rodriguez's Grindhouse, where they like mess up the video quality like on purpose, and they did. This felt like just a natural version of that, man. It was like full of pops and scratches, and the sound was this optical sound. It just was not good. But the film was so damn good. It was just like, it was great. It was great. Feature 2, Escape from New York, according to the presenter, Greg McClellan of the presenter was not Greg McClellan, but he had talked to Greg McClellan of the Draft House, and apparently this is one of the few 35mm prints of Escape from New York that's available to exhibit at this point. And it was like a Franken print. It was, the early reels were really red. The later reels were okay. And, we were transitioning from a flat film, The Warriors, to scope. So they didn't have the scope lens on for the first few minutes, and they actually had to screw off the... And it didn't look like they had a projector where the lens was on a turret. They actually had to... looks like they had to screw off the flat lens and put on the scope lens. Despite that, I mean, my God, theatrical 35mm showing of Escape from New York. The film was as powerful as I've always, it's a powerhouse of a film. If John Carpenter had stopped there with Halloween and The Fog and Escape from New York, his place in the pantheon of fantasy filmmakers would be assured, okay? You wouldn't have to go in and do anything else, and I mean, really, what is after this? What, Starman? What, In the Mouth of Madness, really great film. Village of the Damned. Actually, I like Village of the Damned. I think it was a good film. Ghosts of Mars, Vampires, whatever. Actually, I don't like Ghosts of Mars. I think Vampires is a cool movie, but not as cool as some may think it is. But in any case, personal, whatever floats your boat, personal views. I was let down by Vampires. So Escape from New York was extra grindhousey, extra, you know, deep, horrible scratches. The first few reels were reddening. They were getting red. They weren't offensively red, but they were close to being offendingly red. You know, you know when you watch a film, 35 millimeter film print that's really old, and it's just like red. It's just like black and red, black and white and red. You know, and it's just like red. I'm red. You know, my color's gone. You know, I'm red. I'm no longer a color film, dude. I'm taking you back. I'm hand tinted red. But no, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. But it was pretty close. And scopes, you know, that big, that Millennium Center, that for I don't know if that was a retrofit theater or what that theater was. They put in a big honking screen, man. You know, this was not a shoebox theater. This was not like a little shoebox theater where a little rep theater that you shove into a youth. This was a big, credible frickin' screen there. You know, it's amazing that I haven't heard of this yet. I didn't even hear about this screening until it hit the Austin Film Society calendar, and some of my friends, my compatriots that were there, our members of our little movie club. We kind of they were like, oh hey, it's showing. This is, you know, it's like Warriors and Escape from New York. Whoa, you know. One thing that always hit me about Warriors, Escape from New York. I have my own things about Warriors, you know. Many thoughts about Warriors. Too many for this video. Escape from New York. You know, at the beginning, when Snake is walking down that hall, and there's the PA from Jamie Lee Curtis, and they, you know, where she's saying, if you want to get executed, you know, speak with someone, and then he's turning a corner, and then a voice off screen says, "Hold it," and if you listen to the voice, it's such a signature voice. It's obviously Lee Van Cleef's voice. So then it fades to black, fades up, and then what's the next scene? Lee Van Cleef actually arriving there. So it's confusing. You know, in my head, I always edit that fade to black, and then the fade up next scene is going to be actually the scene between the conference room scene between Lee Van Cleef and Kurt Russell, where they set up the whole conflict and how he's going to go on this mission. But it's not. It's a weird. There's weird ADR in the whole thing. In the first few minutes of Escape from New York, John Carpenter is doing voices all over the place. He's on the PA. He's one of the voices of the staffers and the Air Force One. So I don't think it. I think it was just some a throwaway thing. But why have that? Why have Lee Van Cleef do that voice when it's obvious that he's not even there? I always got real analytical with the scene. I always consider it was like a Quentin Tarantino thing. Like the next scene is actually like a flashback to what happened before he got there. He's already there and he's actually talking to Snake Plissken. I don't know. I'm probably incomprehensible by this point. But in any case, and that's not really a nitpick. It's just always like things you go But logic in John Carpenter films is sometimes it just goes by the wayside. He's a pure cinematic animal, and he makes these works of pure cinema that it's just like they're not bound by logic and reason and rules, and the Ghost in the Fog, they can do whatever the hell they want. Michael Myers, he do whatever he wants. So if you get a chance to see some of these Synapse screenings, I definitely would take it. And any screening in the Millennium Youth Complex. Whoa, great theater. Okay, the seating, screen. Whoa, and 35 millimeter. I don't even know if they can do video projection, but I'm gonna investigate it because that's such a cool theater, and a cool double feature that I hope somehow that their new prints can be struck of Escape from New York, because there need to be more 35 millimeters of that film. That's just such an iconic film that to have it be extinguished in 35 millimeter is like a crime against cinema, I think.